Right, so in this video I'm going to be using second generation Think Break. The Think Break, for those that don't know, is off Lynn Collins' Think About It, a James Brown production, and it's been used on jungle and before that hip hop, sampled to death. It's probably the second most famous breakbeat, possibly after Funky Drummer, but definitely after Amen Break, so here it is. Switch it up a bit. So that's that one. The one we're using today is off Shadows J, Hip This House. So this is an old acid house tune, so, or hip house. So it's just this bit here. But I've already sampled that one up, so here we go. So this is, get the idea there. Put the tempo speed up to 150. So what you get is this. If we roll this one out of here, it will sound like this at 150. Just do it to 1 bar speed. Oops, roll that one out again. It sounds fine like that, don't get me wrong, but I'm making jungle for a modern audience, and you really need to make sure that the clarity is there nowadays. A lot of the modern producers now are layering, obviously, from the drum and bass kind of scene, they're layering their breaks with kicks and hi-hats and snares and things like that. So I'm going to do the same on giving that classic vibe, but with a modern twist and an update. So the first thing I did on this was actually chop the break up, like I said, at 150. So here's what I did. I just put it in the piano roll, let it play through. So as soon as I hit a key, so you get the idea. So this is, I think it's not playing all the way through because I need to do this on run script. Where is it? Regions, play to the end. Here we go. So if I do this now, means when I press down even the first key, yeah, so that means it'll play all the way through. So now this should work. This should play. Now what I normally do with these breaks is I take every single kick, snare, hi-hat, and all the fiddly, all the different bits basically I take apart. So this kick will be EQ'd individually to the snare, and this will be EQ'd individually to the shuffly bits, what I call the hi-hat, the hi-hats. So as you can see on here, they all play a different thing. So if I solo it, for some reason there's a click there that wasn't happening before, but it is now. I think it's because of the play to the end thing, and it resets it every time you load up a slice X, so that just happens. What I've done is I've routed all these to its own drum channel. So you can see all the parts are going through to that one drum channel there with a bit of EQ, just rolled off all the bottom end because I'll show you why. Now on top of this, I've got a hi-hat sound. Again, all these are EQ'd. I'm not going to go into too much on that because you all know, I mean, if you're into production, I'm not going to explain. I'll do videos on that anyway, but I think we all know how to EQ, basic EQing really. It's not that hard. So what I did with this hi-hat pattern is I got one on every beat, so switch it up a bit. And I just so yeah, basically on every single beat, but I've slightly done the volumes different to give it a more natural feel. And when you, without it, you can hear it sounds a bit duller. And so on and so forth. So the snare, I did this garage snare, which you can't hear because I've muted everything. Again, quite heavily EQ'd. I think I've rolled off quite a lot at the bottom end because without it, it sounds like this originally. Let's go back to it. Sort of like a garage ghost snare. EQ'd that out, so when you got both snares playing at once, it sounds like this. Snare, snare. Can you just hear it sounds a bit duller without it? And then the final bit I added was just a 909, which I tried to sort of tune to the breaks. You find that if you ever do this with old school breaks, the best way to do it is sort of tune your drums to fit the original drums, because obviously with samples, with jungle, you want it to, you could pitch your drums, you know, so you could take your sample and re-pitch it, but with the old school way and the original jungle ways, you just basically sped up the record or slowed it down toward, you know, the tempo that the track was at, and then just chopped your breaks accordingly. And then from there, you would look, maybe if you want to do some snare rolls, pitch it up and down with that way. There's loads of ways of doing it. Anyway, this is a 909 kick. And that's the wrong one actually. That was one I was auditioning actually, and this is where you can see it doesn't work. Very, very kind of muffled kick. This one, however, more punchier. And when it's together with the other one, it sounds like this. That's them two anyway. Pitched, and basically I've got control over this and how the length is on the piano roll. And then you just do all this to here. So when it's all done together, you got them all on separate channels. This is what I did anyway. I've just done a limiter, so it's not going over the ceiling. No, actually, I brought this down so I could resample it back in. So in the end, you've got if I load up this project again. So this is the end product. I've basically recorded this in, and if you don't know how to do that on FL, I shall show you. Go on new, set that to on play, and that on forever. Click record, and it shall record whatever's in your playlist or whatever you're recording on there. So together it sounds like this. There you go, you've got a loop there. And finally, if you just delete that off, normalize this, so that's Control and N. And there you have it. So here's your modernised break. So if I roll this round at slow tempos, you'll hear it. There you go, modernised breakbeats for the modern junglist. Lord of mercy.